Hey everybody, Jordan here, aka Spence Coin, aka the Eye of Sauron in the Dark Forest Discord. Been a while since I made a video, but this is Dark Forest version 6 round 4, also known as Society Eggnog. And I started a new account real quick. We're going to highlight some of the things that are new in this round, not only like with the round mechanics itself, but with the user interface. So this UI is actually the same as it was, I think, the last round, but I didn't do any videos last round, so we don't have any sort of anything talking about it yet. So first of all, let's kind of get started doing stuff here. So let's talk about the round first. So round 4, it's the lightning round or the speed round. So the actual stats of everything, the objective, pretty much everything in the game is the same as like round 2, like kind of like back then a few months ago. So they rolled back for this round specifically. So there's nothing crazy that you're unfamiliar with yet if you've played Dark Forest before. The biggest difference, though, with this round is that it's much faster than previous rounds. And by faster, I mean the entire game state has been turned up like 5 or 6 notches, or like 5x, 6x. And so everything is just much, much faster. So the mining right now, I'm only using 1 core to mine with, and like the speed is pretty fast. The regeneration on planets is pretty fast. Moving from planet to planet is super fast. It's very, very nice. We're gonna up the gas price here a little bit, so we don't have any too many problems with doing things. Hopefully this transaction goes through. I know the game's been kind of slammed for a large part of the day. There's been some congestion issues, some whitelist issues. Let me send my own account some XDI real quick. We'll send myself just like 0.2 XDI. Okay, so you'll see this balance go from 0.04 to 0.24 here in a second. So this transaction still hasn't gone through, unfortunately. Okay, so received our XDI, so we have much more to play with. This transaction, let's reload real quick. Wow, that was a fast loading. It's because the map is really small right now. Or our map is small right now. The universe is large, but our map is small. So the objective of this round is to get score. You get score through finding artifacts, and you get score through withdrawing silver from space-time rips. In the previous round, round 3, was totally batshit crazy, and it was a race to the center of the universe. There was a level 9 planet in the very center, and you claimed planets on your, like, so you spawned on the outside of the universe, made your way towards the center, and the closer you get to the center, you capture planets along your way to the center, the lower your score is. And if you get the planet at the very center of the universe, your score would be 0, which is the highest score. So that was like golf scoring in the last round. This round is kind of like back to normal. It's chill, but it's not so chill because it's the lightning round. It only lasts from Friday, October 1st to Monday, October 4th. So less than 4 days. Everything is sped up. Not only the duration of the game itself, but everything inside the game is sped up as well. So I'm pretty sure, I don't know if the mining is faster than normal. It just feels fast. But when I get an actual successful transaction to go through, okay, accepted. Okay, that was fast. All right, so you see this from here to here is like 30 seconds. That would normally have been a couple of minutes in a normal round, but this is the speed round. So you can capture planets that quickly, and you'll see we sent 84% of our energy from this planet, and it's already back up to like 70%. So the regeneration is also buffed like a madman. So yeah, so you can get started really quickly. You can expand your empire very quickly. It's really, really great. It's really fun to play when you're sitting at your PC and you're just hacking away and you get all these transactions going. The downside is that if you leave or go to sleep or whatever else, it's also like 5 times as quick for someone to steal your empire from you. So it's a little bit faster, a little bit looser, more of like a glass cannon type game. But it's a lot of fun. I played it for a couple hours this morning. This is a new account just because why not? So a couple of new things with the UI. If you haven't been playing, then you probably haven't seen this. And so, is it this? I'm looking for the right scene. Okay. So let's adjust this a little bit. Okay, that's good enough. All right, so at the top here, this is the kind of Twitter central. So this is where, or this is like your, like at a glance, like your profile or like your performance perhaps. So right here is your in-game address. You can connect to Twitter here if you want to. You can tweet your proof and verify your tweet. And once you connect your Twitter, it'll remove this address and then it'll display your Twitter name. This is your score, self-explanatory. This is the XDI transaction speed. This is new to this round. But it looks like this was going to guesstimate how long it'll take a transaction to confirm. This is a cool feature. This is interesting. And then generally, so the UI is just much cleaner. There's a lot less clutter. You have the main kind of the primary buttons here. And if you hover over them, they expand. So you got settings, help, plugins, artifacts, and planets. And then down here, you've got much more kind of detailed controls for mining. So you can move your miner if you want using the move button. There's also hotkeys. So the tilde hotkey is also move, boom, boom. There's a pause button, pretty self-explanatory. There's the number of cores you want to use to mine. So let's move the miner. Let's pause the miner, move it up here. We didn't actually have to pause that, but we'll switch it to 4 cores, for example. And then it's super beefy. Or switch to 8 cores, even faster. And then 32. At some point, you get diminishing returns on the number of cores you use. And also, your computer takes more processing power, and it gets hotter, and it heats up my little apartment. So we try to beat a reasonable 4 to 8 cores usually. Otherwise, you have to turn the air conditioning on, and then it's a whole inefficient waste of energy. But it's kind of nice to have these controls down here. And there's also these. You can change from spiral to Swiss cheese, which kind of helps you get, like at a glance, an idea of what might be in this area. And then there's some towards center strats where the miner will work its way towards the center of the map very slowly in like a diagonal pattern. And this was super useful for the previous round where you wanted to get to the center. Not super useful, or yeah, you don't really need it for this round. I prefer spiral though, because if you do a Swiss cheese pattern, like in a huge grid, it'll actually be more intensive for your computer to to display it. So I usually just do the typical spiral pattern and then, like, jump around and look at spots. Let's see. And then there's the hover state. When you hover over a planet, it kind of shows you at a glance a lot of the important details, like who owns it, all the stats, the level, the rank, all of the bonuses or whatever else. And then when you click on the planet, it's the same thing. You can broadcast it. You can look at more information. And then when you own a planet, this is your kind of control center. And so they've condensed a lot of the unnecessary stuff down to just this panel. Things are a lot more smoother, faster. You can minimize panels. Everything is within this one panel here. And yeah, it's pretty nice. And then last but not least, you have all these fancy little icons for when you discover planets and asteroid fields and different biomes and everything else. And let's see. There's more settings. So this is pretty useful, changing the gas price, especially in times of congestion. Your public key, your balance, your private burner wallet information. So this will display your coordinates in your private key, which you never want to do on stream, and you never want to do in general to anybody. These are for your eyes only. There's auto confirm options here. You generally want to leave that on. Map data export and import, and then there's the RPC endpoint changing, metrics, performance options. These are pretty cool. It looks cooler if you have planets revealed. You can disable emoji rendering, disable hats, notifications, all this stuff. There's a bunch of new settings in the game, which is really, really cool. Experimental features, default shortcuts. So one of the things that's really cool is all the shortcuts that are by default now. So send is Q, artifacts are S. It uses like a pretty typical scheme. And then 0 through 9 change the energy by like 10%. And then if you have a silver or an asteroid field, if you hold shift and then, shift plus a number, it'll change the amount of silver you're going to be sending as well. Lastly, this is kind of a fun one that's new to like the last round, I think, or maybe 2 rounds ago, is you can set an emoji for your planet. And this is off chain, I believe. But you do that, set emoji, and the emoji will pop up for both you and everybody else that sees this planet. So you can use this to communicate if you want to. You can put a peace sign, you can put a sword, you can put a thumbs down, whatever you want. But yeah, so this is kind of a big update to the UX of the game. The UI, it's been fairly revamped. I think it's in a pretty good spot right now. And then, a bit of a brief about the details for this round specifically. So right now it's Friday at around 8 p.m. PST. So the round's been live for majority of the day. It ends though 3 days from now on Monday at 9 p.m. PST. And yeah, so good luck. Good luck getting the score. Good luck finding artifacts, withdrawing silver. Good luck holding on to your empires because they can get taken from you way more fast than usual. And yeah, best of luck in the Dark Forest.